Hello and welcome, guys, to Smiel's top game picks for 2016, the best of and the worst of. Sort of. Now, these games aren't all specifically from 2016, they're just games that I've either played recently or have just heard a lot about recently, and it's kind of my 2016 game calendar. But the first up, I would just like to give a most awkward title to this little game called Altspace VR. Now, my first impression of this game is I had some friends over and we were trying to play this game, and it was just like it gives you a weird avatar, and like everyone is kind of stuck in the main loading screen, and no one really knows how to get out of it. And the chat's really weird because everyone's mics are permanently on, and it was just such like an awkward feeling, and you could just hear everyone talking like, "Yeah, I don't know, how do I get out of here? What am I supposed to be doing here?" And we couldn't figure out what to do. And then eventually, when we got out, we just got lost and glitched into a wall of some maze. So that wins the most awkward award of 2016 to me. That is a VR game that I shall never play again. Number two would have to be the most anticipated award, and that goes to Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now, this game had so much hype behind it, and people were looking forward to it so much. And it was just one of those games where, like, there was all the hype for Pokemon Go, there was all the hype for the other games. A new generation of people were getting into this Pokemon game, and it was so cool to see that. And I don't think there was more hype behind any other game that actually delivered what it promised. Now, a game that I know was not from 2016, but I said this is my personal list, that I would like to give best story to is Life is Strange. Now, this game holds a personal spot in my heart forever. I love this game so much. It has such a cool mechanic to it where you can sort of rewind time, and it's such a great game. If you haven't, it's usually on sale. The first chapter is always free, and you can buy episode 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a fantastic game. I would love to see what they do in the future with that idea, but it's fantastic. I highly recommend you check it out. It is worth every penny. So the next award we have is the biggest cock tease award, and this award, there's no competitors. It goes to No Man's Sky. So No Man's Sky was supposed to be that game that was supposed to end all games. It was supposed to be like a fantastic space game that had such a big universe that you were supposed to almost never be able to find people, but that wasn't the case. You couldn't actually find other people. So this game was supposed to be like a first-person exploration space game where you could go name planets and claim territories, and it was supposed to have been such a large generated world that you weren't able to find people, even though there's supposed to be thousands and thousands of people playing it. And it came down to two Twitch streamers, I believe, that ended up navigating closer and closer to each other to eventually they were standing in the same spots. But it was different times of day, and they couldn't find each other. So this game turned out to not actually be an online game, and it was just missing a lot of features. It was an incomplete game, and they built up so much hype behind it and delayed it so much, and everyone was saying that they appreciated it being delayed because it would come out as a finished product, and then it came out unfinished. So that deserves the biggest cock tease award, and nothing else can compete. Along the lines of pretty terrible games, the At Least You Tried award goes to The Division. This is just a game that I've heard nothing but bad things about. I've not played it myself, but I've seen gameplay of it, and it just seems like a dumb game. Like, I've only heard people complaining that people will steal your drops, that people just camp, and there's like no good way to actually play the game unless you play it like a scumbag, and even then it's still not a fun game to play. It just seems kind of monotonous and repetitive, and not the kind of game I would ever recommend to someone. The next award is a very interesting one, but it's the Best Use of Nudity award. And this one, I kind of had to think for a little bit because I had this award suggested to me, and I was trying to think of games that use nudity but not in like a weird way. And you can't really use it in not a weird way, but you can use it in a comical way while still being weird. And that game is Genital Jousting. This game was it was a fantastic mess, and I loved it, and I watched some people play it. It looked so cool, and I went and played it. It's just such a dumb game, but it was so well done. Like, It's almost like one of those indie games that just pops up and does super good, and oh wait, that's what it was. So, but that deserves the Best Use of Nudity award. It was fantastically hilarious, and yeah, you guys should check that out if you get a chance. Now, this other game is belongs under the this is the only game my friend had on his PS4 award game, and that would be Rocket League. So this is a game where I personally like to play MMOs. I like to play first-person shooters. I like Call of Duty, I like Halo, I like CSGO, and I like League of Legends. But this game doesn't fit in any of those categories. It's like FIFA meets Dirt 3 meets, I don't know, Madden. I mean, it's an awful mess, and there's no uniqueness to each game. You have the same sets of cars, you have the same scenarios. Now, I will say they did a good job with the Rumble and adding an extra layer to it, but the competitive wise, there's next to no skill involved in it. And I know someone's going to say
that, oh, it takes a lot to be able to hit the shots and get the angles right and stuff. And it's like, that's with any game like that, you're going to have to know the mechanics of that game. But there's not a lot of mechanics. It's such a simple game. It's almost like how Melee used to be for Super Smash Bros. Melee, where it was just that game was like, oh, it's simple, you just smash everyone and just do whatever. But there's another layer to Melee.
So the next award, after being so hard on that last game, would be the Tearjerker Award, and that goes to Undertale. So if you haven't played this game, it's an indie game. I think it was made in RPG Maker or Game Maker or something. But it's a fantastic game. It's a wonderful story game. It has wonderful music to it. And it's also terribly, terribly sad. Like, there's parts where you have to kill your friends. You have to kill your enemies while killing your friends. And there's different ways you can play the game. You can go full brute and just attack everyone, or do a full pacifist playthrough where you don't attack everyone and you're kind to everyone and you help everyone. And then there's a broken pacifist where you just attack at the very end. And there's all sorts of different ways to play this game, and they're all like terribly, terribly sad. But I like that game just has a way of making you happy and then taking that away. And it's such a simple game, but it's so fantastic. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already. Now, a title that I would like to give props for being the most improved game that I have seen would be Watch Dogs 2. Now, this game, starting from Watch Dogs is what I'm basing this off of, where it was such a mess, there wasn't a lot you could do, it was a broken game, and people just hated it. Like, it had all this hype built up behind it, and it just didn't deliver. But when Watch Dogs 2 came out, they fixed a lot of that, and they listened to the people, and they just added a few extra mechanics and added things that were missing, and they made it a more finished product than Watch Dogs was. So while I don't personally enjoy the game, it is a very, very, very large improvement on the original Watch Dogs game. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's worth it if it's on sale or something on Steam. Some honorable mentions I would just like to say would be The Witcher 3. Now, this game is a beautiful game. I don't have a lot of time in it. I've played it from one of my friends, and it's a beautifully fantastic game. Everything in it looks amazing, and I don't know too much about the story of it because I've never played any of the Witcher games, but it's just fun to mess around in. It's like Skyrim, but better. I mean, I don't really know of another way to describe it. Another game that gets an honorable mention is Overwatch. It's another kind of shoot 'em up, but not really shoot 'em up, but CSGO style, not CSGO style. It's a really fantastic mashup of all sorts of different types, and I really like the game as kind of a go over to your friend's house, play it with them, and just do whatever. And you can just play it different ways in different rounds, and they added new game modes for the winter season, and it was really cool. They've done a lot to it, and I really appreciate it. Another honorable mention goes to a game that is actually one of my personal favorites, which is Subnautica. I love this game so very much, and the only reason it's not like on the list is because another game, which I'll get to after this, kind of took its place as my favorite game of all time so far. But Subnautica is just a fantastic game. Rise of the Tomb Raider deserves an honorable mention as well. I've played Tomb Raider, as you guys have seen. I'm still currently playing it. I have to finish it up for you guys soon. But it's a fantastic game. It looks beautiful. It plays beautifully. And I couldn't really have asked for much more. If you guys get a chance, check it out. And last but not least is Dark Souls 3. This is a game where I played the original Dark Souls a little bit. I played Dark Souls 2 a little bit, but I've never played them through. They're insanely hard games if you've not played them, and then even when you do play them, it still takes a lot of skill to get through them with a slightly decent, reputable time. So take a look at it if you want. It's a fantastic game. Now, for the very last game on this list, my favorite game, and the very last one that I will go over, is Just Cause 3. Now, this game I wish would have won the Boom Award on the Steam Game Awards for winter 2016, but it is such a fantastic game. I don't care if no one else gives it an award, I'm giving it the Smiel seal of approval because it is such a fantastic game. The story to it, yeah, it's kind of the same as the stories from the other games, but they've done so much visually with this game. The explosions are so beautiful. The sound is so fantastic. There's so much uniqueness to the different guns, and a lot of them will kind of look the same, but shoot completely differently. There's so many cars they've added into the game. The map is enormous, and there's so much you can do in this world. It's just fantastic, and you also get to see more about this character Rico's life, and it's really cool just to see all the stuff you can do in this game and not even follow the story. Because I personally didn't even follow the story. I got the game and literally just got airplanes, did whatever I want, and just like flying over, and then it's like, oh, go do this mission that you're nearby. You don't have to, but it's there. It's like, there's so much diversity in this game. I loved it so much, and they added so many new fun mechanics, and after I figured out how to actually use the game, it was really, really, really fun. So that is my top rated game of 2016 and before. So I hope you guys like this. I hope y'all enjoyed. This is kind of something different that I've done. It's not really so much a review of all the games so much as just what I think about them. And in 2017 I will do another review towards the end of the year or the beginning of the next year, and see how it goes. Now, for those of you who don't know, it is also my birthday today, so this is what I'm doing on my birthday is making this video real quick. So I would have had an actual gaming video, but I've got some stuff I'm going to be doing later today with my family, so I'm not really going to be able to have time to sit down and edit the video and upload it. So I just figured I would get something up for you guys, and this is that. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and I hope 2017 is a better year than 2016 was. Bye, guys.